Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ACTN. It's a pleasure. We're always on between the hours of 8 to 9 every Tuesday, where we bring to you something that is relevant in sport in Trinidad and Tobago. Today, we're going to be talking about a sport that we felt like what we did for rugby. We thought rugby was a sport that wasn't getting the kind of support that it needed, and we started to do a number of programs on rugby. And I think after talking to my guests earlier, I think we're going to do the same for this sport, because I think this sport needs some recognition, and more so because it involves a lot of young people. That sport we're going to be discussing tonight is the sport of golf.
My name is Montano, and currently I'm the junior golf coordinator here at Petritrin Golf Course. I started the game when I was 12 years old, and I've had a love affair with the sport for the last 18 years. So this year I was called on to revamp our junior golf program here at Pointe-a-Pierre, with the main goal of spreading the game to young adults and using golf as a tool to help empower kids. One of the main goals of this program is the No Kid Left Behind project. We believe that a financial constraint shouldn't be a barrier for you to play the game of golf. So in this program, we are helping out kids from various backgrounds to come into the game, to give them the coaching and the necessary equipment hopefully for them to excel.
I've been playing golf 4.5 months, and it changed my personality. It helped me better myself, and to actually see that I have a talent for it, I could play, it really made me change my life and be happy.
I like playing golf because here all of my friends are. Through playing golf, I learned hard work, perseverance, and patience.
My big dream in life to win a scholarship and win a PGA Tour.
Today, many schools around the world offer golf scholarships while you can simultaneously earn a tertiary level degree. So at the program, we are making it very clear to all the kids that are involved in what it takes to earn these type of scholarships. And our job and our function is to provide the blueprint of how to get there. This year we brought Joshua Galt on board. He's a local Trinidadian professional. He's played around the world in professional golf tournaments and has worked with numerous top US pros. He's brought a wealth of experience and knowledge to the program, which the kids have benefited from tremendously. So we're very excited to have him. He's a personal friend of mine, and he's a great asset to the program. Stephen Ames is a definite inspiration to this program. Right? He's born and bred in Trinidad. He's come from our home golf course, and he's reached the pinnacle of every golfer's dream, the PGA Tour. So his story, told to our kids, it's a testament of hard work and perseverance, and it's a story that should be told. A lot of times in life, kids just need a chance to harness their true potential. And we're hoping with this program that we can make some of their dreams a reality.
Let me first of all introduce my guest for tonight, Montano. Adam, it's a pleasure.
Hi.
And Joshua Galt. And these two gentlemen, amateur golf, professional golfer. Let's start with you, Adam. Tell us a bit about your involvement in the sport of golf.
So I started golf at 12 years old. I started in Pointe-a-Pierre, and I played a bit. I played on the national junior team when I was younger, and I have had a love affair with the game since I was 12 years old. So this year, I was called on board to revamp our junior golf program at Pointe-à-Pierre.
Okay.
So that's what I've been doing this year.
All right. Joshua, I know that you are the pro
Yeah.
for about 4 years, right?
About five, 6 years.
Yeah. Tell us a bit about your involvement in the sport and where you are present.
So I started playing golf up in St. Andrews. I was 4 or 5 years old. And I've been playing competitive golf since 7 years old. Played on the national junior team. Migrated to the States, played golf all throughout middle school, high school. And then instead of going to college, I went the professional route. You know, I've been around the world, South America, Africa, the States, playing professional golf. And a few months ago, Adam decided that he needed somebody who, you know, he could work well with, and somebody who could bring some expertise to the program he is trying to build back up. And, you know, I have the same passion with the kids, and to be able to give my 2 cents of what I've learned over the years, and hopefully build up some of the next star players in the next few years.
Okay, now we're going to dive into the discussion now, and you all can come in at any time. Now, the program that you all are running at the Pointe-à-Pierre Golf Club is No Kid Left Behind. Tell us about that, what it entails, and how the idea came about.
So the idea came about by, there was one kid who approached me to learn the game. And he was very passionate about it and told me flat out that he didn't have the funds to play the game. He couldn't afford it. So I approached the committee, and I was very adamant to encourage them to have kids come to our program, no matter their financial background. So we started the program. It's called No Kid Left Behind. And basically, no matter where you're from, no matter your financial status, you can come into the program, learn to play golf, and see where the game can take you.
Now, do you all have like equipment? Because I can ask you how expensive is the sport of golf to get the equipment. But you said that kids will walk in, you know, no equipment. Do you all have equipment that if a kid walks, you know, want to play the sport and doesn't have the necessary equipment, you all could facilitate him with equipment?
Yes, we have a range of different golf sets that have been given to us very generously by members of Pointe-à-Pierre, members of the different golf courses throughout the country. We've reached out to the golf fraternity, and the feedback and the response has been really, really positive. So we can accommodate kids who want to come into the sport and they don't have the equipment, or there's no financial way for them to get access to this equipment.
But how did the program, that idea, especially the name, No Kid Left Behind, how did that come into play?
It came into play basically by seeing the passion that kids have when they actually start the game, but then the hard reality, realizing that they would not have the money to continue the game. It made our golf section in Pointe-à-Pierre take a step back and realize we have to find some way to give these kids an opportunity to try this sport.
Okay. Now, is it just for individuals, or you're going to be taking this idea to schools? Because, okay, let's say, well, I know schools don't have golf course, but are you all going to be taking this outside of Petrotrin, or you're going to be focusing there because you have the facility?
So yes, we are going to start this year to reach out to schools in San Fernando and our fence line communities to find kids who are interested in playing the game. Josh and myself are going to go out and we're going to give exhibitions and just to find kids who want to start to play golf and bring them into the program. That is our main drive this year, the golf section at Pointe-à-Pierre. is behind us, and we're very committed to engaging in that outreach project.
How long you all have started, and what are some of the major challenges you all face right now?
So the program started in March of this year, 2018, and we have been lucky enough to get the full support of Pointe-à-Pierre Golf Course to use the facility to run the program. The major challenges would be adequate funding to upgrade our training facilities at Pointe-à-Pierre, to try to upgrade the course to make it into a championship level facility that these kids would be able to have a chance to develop their game to take them to another level.
Yeah. Because I guess a golf course, well, going back to a statement our Prime Minister made sometime about grooming like a golf course, I think that special attention or more investment needs to be had in order to take care of a golf course. A golf course is not like a ordinary field that you can take a farmer or a lawnmower.
It's a science.
Tell us about the preparation. So, no, what I'm trying to get here is that people will see what it entails to have, a proper venue.
Right. So, I mean, I've played around the world, and you see people coming from South Africa where the courses are perfect. South America, where now some of the top players are coming out of, and of course in the States and Canada and Europe, the courses are pristine, right? And so if you're playing on that playing field, and you go and play another competition on a field that is, as a same kind of quality, you're going to be prepared. Playing on a course that is somewhat subpar, you are disadvantaged already. On top of that, lack of competition that we encounter down here, and having the right facility will allow them to kind of level the playing field a bit. And it takes a little bit of funding, but having a program like we have started will allow them to have the chance to compete on the international scale.
Well, I was just about to ask you all, what do you all expect to get out of this whole No Kid Left Behind? As you said, more competition. But what is needed right now to bring, golf? Because I remember, long time you hear the name of it, Stephen Ames and Chris Richards, all these guys, and you used to hear about golf long time.
Right.
Golf was always in the news, but now you don't hear anything.
If you have 200 juniors, right, like a lot of these programs have around the world, the chances of you finding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 who get to the next level, or even say 10 get to the college level, 1 or 2 may turn professional, But when you have 10, which started out doing well, 10, it could grow to 15, to 20, to 30, to 40, but you have 10, a game of numbers. It's very tough for all 10 of them to get scholarships or for any of them to be the next Stephen Ames. But as we go into the schools and hopefully, seek out another bunch of juniors who, give themselves a chance to get to that next level, and hopefully we could develop the program into something bigger. And, hopefully a few of them will get to the next level, whether it's college, whether, a high amateur level or professional.
They give scholarships in golf, right?
Yes.
Okay. How big is the sport, and what's the pool of golfers, especially with the young children?
Right now?
Yeah, if you have an idea.
Right now in the country? In the country, it's somewhat limited compared to when I first started playing. So I played on the national team 15 years ago. And, we had 40, 50 juniors fighting up for those few spots. Now, I would say there's a lot less.
What do you think is the reason for that?
Well, I would say, what do you think? I mean, it's a bit of lack of attention, lack of exposure,
And then lack of accessibility. I think that's a main issue, is that there needs to be a big drive nationally in this country for the people involved in the sport to go out to the schools, to go out to the communities. And we have started this locally in San Fernando. And we're hoping that, moving forward, we can do it nationally. And as Josh said, it's a game of numbers. So if we can get 300 kids, right, in playing golf as opposed to 30, there's a much higher there's a much higher level of competition, and then there's a much higher chance of finding those kids who can reach to an elite level. So I think accessibility and then just growth is a lot of things holding back the sport in Trinidad, an active approach to it.
When they have these these big celebrity golf tournaments and things,
Right.
like up in Mocha, wherever, does that in any way enhance the sport, or that's just maybe sponsor come on board and some business people get together and some charity?
The reality is, I mean, it's nothing wrong with having tournaments. It's always good for tournaments to be there. But really and truly what they're fundraisers. They are, specific companies coming in having certain events. And that's what it is, right? Not a problem. But what we would like to see is more higher level amateur tournaments. For people like Adam, he plays maybe 1 or 2 tournaments a year at any kind of competitive level. And for juniors, back in the day when I was growing up, we had a junior medal, which is a junior version of what they play, like a club championship kind of tournament. And it's every month, the juniors have a chance to play who's going to be the winner, who's the top in that club that month. And now they might play, 4 or 5 tournaments a year at nothing that's very competitive. It's a lot of fundraisers, team events, and that's all very well and good. But when I've played away in the States, it's every week you have a competitive junior tournament. And that is the reason that you have, out of the top 100 players in the world, they're all coming from countries where have a substantial junior program.
Okay.
A good competitive circuit.
All right. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll chat some more because I want to find out, how this program that you all have, with the support of corporate Trinidad and Tobago, how could we come together on a common ground? Because you all are dealing with young people. And as we said off camera, sports is a way, a deterrence of crime. So I would think that the business people, those who are sometimes afraid of being robbed by young people, will see the positive side of this program that you all are doing. And somebody, if there's one company, will come forward and say. We also be right back after the short break.
You're watching ACTN, The Voice. ACTN The Voice, your family-friendly station.
Welcome back, viewers. Welcome back to Scoreboard here on ACTN. Our topic tonight is golf. We talk with Adam Montano and Joshua Golf, 2 young men who have started a program. And viewers, before the break, I was saying that this is a positive program. It's a program where we deal with young people. And I make that plea to you, the business community. This is something that I feel your money will be worth spending or getting involved with because it's young people we're dealing with. I'm going to put up some numbers on the screen at the end of the program, with the permission of my guests. So if there is anyone out there who wants to give a contribution, and it doesn't matter because, whatever you give, it will go a long way. So I'll put up the numbers, and if you feel that you want to get involved with them, you can call that number. Adam, this program, I don't think that you can sit here and really talk of the importance of this program for young people. But I want to take this opportunity and look into the camera and talk to Trinidad and Tobago and try to educate them, if that's the word I should use, about the necessity in this program where you're dealing with young people and you have come into contact with them. So, and you have talked to them. So you can speak from a background, knowing these kids' background then. You talk about one guy walking all the way to the court. He could have had so many distractions from his home to the golf course that could easily have turned him away. But he's coming every day.
Correct. So a lot of times with these kids, they might like golf, they might have an inclination to the sport. But when you really lay out where you can go, using golf as a way of empowering your life, when you actually tell them, hey, this is possible. Stephen Ames came from our course, and he has reached to the pinnacle of, golfing, like every golfer's, dream, right? When you point that out to them and let them know that is a very, very real possibility, if they're disciplined and do the work, they will come to the golf course as opposed to being distracted on the street. And it's a way to get kids to reach the level where they might not have thought, that they can get to, and really, really change their lives. So we, together with the Stephen Ames Foundation here in Trinidad, we are letting them know what it takes to gain university scholarship so that they have a plan and a blueprint to follow to hopefully one day, achieve that success.
How do they get the scholarship?
So they would have...
Would you all be helping in that area? That's what I want to really find out.
So go ahead, John.
So, I mean, to get a college scholarship, obviously you have to be proficient in the sport.
Yeah.
And,
Plus
that's,
education
of
background
course.
too. Yeah.
And having a good academic background, a lot of the time, some of these schools, they don't give 100% golf, but if you are good enough and your academics are good enough, you might get 70-30, you might get 90-10, or even if it's enough to give you accessibility, because as you know, college is not very cheap if you're going to go away, whether it's the States or Canada, wherever it may be. But if they are to a certain standard, and we hope that with partnership from whichever companies may want to be on board one day, these juniors, some of the better ones, even if they play 2 or 3 events, say it's Florida or California, and they get exposed to some of these college coaches, because that is what these coaches do. They go and scout, just like any other sport.
Yeah.
They go and scout out golfers who are at a certain level. And, that's our job, to make the communication with some of these schools and some of the coaches, where some of the juniors could go up, play one tournament, do well, and, they're exposed to these coaches and they have a chance to get, they could go to college on, whether it's prorated or it's for free.
We didn't touch on what are the days of training, the hours, and if someone wants to get in contact with you, how do they approach to get involved and start in the training?
Okay, so training is every day, Monday to Sunday.
No holiday?
There's no holidays, no holidays. If I am not there, Josh will be there.
And time?
Time usually starts at about 3 to 6:30 until it gets dark. And if you want to get in contact with me, it's 758-4778. And Joshua, your phone number?
317-6537.
And there's absolutely no cost to getting involved?
There's no cost to getting involved. And we want as many kids as possible into the program.
I know you all said you all have equipment, but what about uniform? Because they need shoes.
Right.
Yeah.
So with regards to clothing, we have a lot of charitable donations that have been given to us to outfit these kids.
Okay.
Right. So we have that. We just need the interest and we just need the numbers. So
What's the numbers like right now?
right now we have 10 kids
Okay.
that are showing, a lot of potential and a lot of passion for this sport. They're out there every day training. We have 5 from less fortunate circumstances, and they are very, very committed to their training and trying to reach to another level. So we want more, and we're very, very interested in building this.
Now, you said earlier, we just have about 3 minutes remaining, we said earlier that there's not much tournament locally for these kids. Right? Is that a deterrence that I'm coming 7 days a week, and I'm training, and one day I want to get and play a tournament, but there is not,
Right.
could that be a hindrance to the kids after a while? I just get fed up with training.
Definitely something.
I want to play a game.
Definitely something that we're pushing this year to, even if it's 3 or 4, even if it's a small junior tournament within that group.
Okay, yeah.
It is something to keep them interested. You're training very hard and you want to see your results, compared to your peers. And then, the best one, somebody's going to look up. Oh, I'm a beginner. Oh, I want to get like this one.
Yeah.
Like one of our students who is on the national team. That's kind of like, all right, we want to get there. And
So
then
you already have one person from
The
your
program.
On the national team?
Yes,
Okay,
we
that's
have
good,
him.
that's good.
His name is Dravid Bim, and he's been on the national junior golf team for the last 2 years.
Okay, that's good. That's good. At least having somebody there will motivate the others because they have somebody to look up to.
Of course.
So the
Right?
beginners coming in look up to him on the national team, and then I've been fortunate enough to play around the world professionally. So someone like Dravid looks up, and I could offer my 2 cents,
Yeah.
and push them not necessarily only in a physical sense with the game, but as a mentor. I think it's more important than just the coaching aspect as in a technical sense, but to be a role model. And to give them hope and give them a kind of a guidelines of what they need to do to get to that next level.
Yeah. We just have about a minute remaining, Adam. Any closing comments?
Yes, I would just like to appeal to Trinidad and Tobago to put forward kids that are interested in coming to learn to play golf. You have an inclination towards it. Don't hesitate to call us. We want as many kids as possible in the program.
Joshua?
Same thing, and we appreciate the exposure to golf. I've been playing golf for a very long time, and I know in Trinidad that it's not been exposed in a certain light, and we just want to do our part to push the game and get as many kids involved to hopefully give them a brighter future or hope for something better.
Okay. Well, as I said before, I'm just a phone call away, so if you all need any assistance, and we already talked about what we're going to do for the young people and them. So, Adam, it's a pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
I want to wish you all the best, and I really hope that some business person or somebody out there could lend assistance. And as I said, it doesn't matter how small it is. The little amounts always add up. And as I said before, I'll try to see what I can do concerning what we talk about.
Great.
Well, viewers, we have come to the first part of Scoreboard here on ACTN. We are talking to Joshua Gort and Adam Montano about their program at the Petrotrin golf course. Feel free to call the numbers at the bottom of the screen or contact us if you ACTN if you need any information. And we really ask for your support. It's young people we're dealing with. We always criticize young people, but when they're doing something good, we don't ever come out and help them. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to Faizabad for the recently concluded Gallows football tournament put on by the former legends of Trinidad and Tobago football. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short break.
My name is Adam Montano, and currently I'm the Junior Golf Coordinator here at Petrotrin Golf Course. I started the game when I was 12 years old, and I've had a love affair with the sport for the last 18 years. So this year I was called on to revamp our junior golf program here at Pointe-a-Pierre with the main goal of spreading the game to young adults and using golf as a tool to help empower kids. One of the main goals of this program is the No Kid Left Behind project. We believe that a financial constraint shouldn't be a barrier for you to play the game of golf. So in this program, we are helping out kids from various backgrounds to come into the game, to give them the coaching and the necessary equipment hopefully for them to excel.
I've been playing golf 4.5 months and it changed my personality. It helped me better myself, and to actually see that I have a talent for it, I could play, it really made me change my life and be happy.
I like playing golf because here all of my friends are. Through playing golf, I learned hard work, perseverance, and patience.
My big dream in life to win a scholarship and go to PGA Tour.
Today, many schools around the world offer golf scholarships while you can simultaneously earn a tertiary level degree. So at the program, we are making it very clear to all the kids that are involved in what it takes to earn these type of scholarships. And our job and our function is to provide the blueprint of how to get there. This year we brought Joshua Galt on board. He's a local Trinidadian professional. He's played around the world in professional golf tournaments and has worked with numerous top US pros. He's brought a wealth of experience and knowledge to the program, which the kids have benefited from tremendously. So we're very excited to have him. He's a personal friend of mine and he's a great asset to the program. Stephen Ames is a definite inspiration to this program. Right? He's born and bred in Trinidad. He's come from our home golf course and he's reached the pinnacle of every golfer's dream, the PGA Tour. So his story, told to our kids, it's a testament of hard work and perseverance, and it's a story that should be told. A lot of times in life, kids just need a chance to harness their true potential. And we're hoping with this program that we can make some of their dreams a reality.
Well, a pleasant good afternoon and welcome to Cloud 9 on ACTM The Voice. I am Sheldon Yerwood.
To bring some relief, to those who were badly affected.
Is that real best bike, Jasmine? I got to go.
We feed into the soil and how we water to determine the kind of fruit that we bear.
Easy boat. Easy man.
El bote, hermano.
Thank you very much. God blessings to you, and of course, be safe.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to another edition of Scoreboard here on ACT, and it's always a pleasure to be in your company every Tuesday evening between the hours of 8 and 9.
Welcome everyone to another edition of Football 101.
Half season and things are looking gloomy for Madrid.
Is a Chelsea fan.
I only know one side of Manchester and it's red. I don't know about any blue side.
Yes, I'm an Arsenal fan.
That's very unfortunate.
I love you, Messi.
Mike wanna say thanks, but
No!
What are you gonna do?
we bring the feel directly to your home.
Welcome back to Your Health, Your Choice. So he did some of the first illustrations, the actual drawings.
As you know, I'm a community diabetologist. Diabetes is my specialty.
What needs to be done? How you can take responsibility for your health care.
Yes. The gold standard is still the camera.
Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to ACTN and welcome to the Sanderson Heritage Park here in Faizabad. And I have with me the one who I call the community leader, Arthur Sanderson. Again, another project. We were here recently for the community project. Now we have another project here which is entitled to do with sports, bringing back sports into the community of Faizabad. As for the older folks will know, in years gone by, Faizabad and Point Forte was really the hub of activity when coming to football. And during the course of the years, things have died out. But Mr. Sanderson, as the community leader he is bringing back this football back into the community. First of all, again, welcome, Mr. Sanderson, and tell me a bit about what this event here this evening is all about on this Emancipation Day, and what can the people of Faizabad expect in the future?
Well, once again, Mr. George, thank you very much for being here. As a community communication station centered around issues and development of the community, the various communities. This annual project on Emancipation Day is really about emancipating our minds, ourselves, from the present lethargic that is going on in the society. Our youths are somewhat, they have lost the direction. And the focus that we are about over the last 3 years is to create a community activity centered around football, which was really the trust of the Southwest Peninsula. When we had companies, even though they were foreign conglomerates, they really nurtured the communities where they did their exploration. And I can tell you that these communities are Shell. With no Shell and UBOT, there was no Point Forte and Guapo and Vance River. Apex. If there was no Apex, there was never going to be no Faizabad. Lake Asphalt. If there was no Lake Asphalt, there was never going to be any Lovray or even Brighton. If there was no TPD, there was never going to be no Palaseco, Santa Flora, Dali Village. And if there was no Texaco, there was never going to be any Forest Reserve or even Pointe-à-Pierre. So the acronym SALTT is what is the root of returning football to that period when the greats were in this part of the country.
I have with me legend of Trinidad and Tobago football, the captain of the 1970 football team, Selwyn Moran. You would have seen him on our station some time back when I did a Legends in Sports interview with him. Mr. Moran, football in the Selwyn. Football in the Faizabad Point area was the mecca of football in the 60s, 70s, even before.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? And over the years, it has died. Only this week when I was down at Point for the Field of Dreams summer camp, someone mentioned to me, we had, I think it's Selby Brown, was saying that there were a time when there were 9 Point men making up a Trinidad and Tobago team.
That's a fact.
Right?
Yeah.
And now we have seen where football really in Trinidad is dying and slow death. Football-wise, administration-wise, everything. Now, Arthur Sanderson is trying his best to relive something that was beneficial to football in the past. Now, you are here this afternoon lending support. How does that make you feel, and is it bringing back memories to the good old days of your era?
In my opinion, what Sandy is doing is correcting. The system we had years ago, where the people were involved. But now, they took the game from the people.
Yeah.
Because somebody have a player, they have a team, and 9 players on the team from Sandy Grande, you know, and it can't work because the supporters don't know the players. So the system we had was working, and we tried. We really tried to see if we could have had a better system, but that system didn't work.
Because you have probably things like police and the army. What community do they represent?
Exactly.
Now, long time, police was in football.
Yeah.
But because of the dynamics of the country, and police didn't have that negative stigma about themselves, people would have followed them.
Yeah.
Right? So they had a following. But now, because of crime and because of the government and police and all these different things, people staying away. So they don't have a community base.
Okay.
Right? It's not like the army or the police going to a community and assisting with provision schools or doing things that people will know them. So how do we attach to a professional team or teams that doesn't have a community? How do we do it?
We have to go back to what was tried and tested and it worked. We have to go back to that system unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, because what we really did is to take the game from the people. And the game needs the people.
Yeah.
You know, so that's where we went short.
Now, some people might say we criticize and all these different things. But do you think that the time has come where the likes of our legends, the Morans, the Steve David, the Cummins, all these guys supposed to be on board in trying to develop football? And why I say that, in '89, when we nearly qualified for the World Cup, we had a totally local bunch of guys, right?
Yeah.
When we went to 73, similar, we might have a couple players outside, right? But when we look at our local players now, right, I have not seen any player right now who can live up to some of the guys from 73 or even 89.
Okay. Well, I am not really close to the football now because I don't live here. I don't know if I could have made an input, but I don't live here, so I'm sorry. But like I did, like I say, what we did was we took the football from the people, and you must look at in England.
Yeah.
Counties when counties will leave their county and go to other counties to support a team.
Yeah.
Exactly what we had here.
Yeah.
But it didn't work for us, so we should have gone back to what was working. And that's why we're still where we are.
Well, Selwyn, I'm glad that you are here lending support in some small way, because when you look at the situation in our country with the young people and everything, we need something to draw us back to civilization, because we are living like animals, like beasts, and and the young people are the ones who are suffering. So I want to compliment you and the other guys who are here today lending support, and I really do hope that this can build and recreate what we know, was the major event, football in the South area.
Yeah, I agree. We got to look for people like Finey Paul. He's one of the agents in Cuba who have Cuba going.
Yes, I was there with him sometime back with his son, and they have a little academy going.
Yeah. One like him or another 2 or 3, and then we got to go back to where we was, and it will work.
Okay.
It must work. It must work.
Tell us a bit about how you're feeling and what would you like to see come out of this project?
Well, first of all, I am very pleased and happy to be asked to join this organization, because I think that we needed something like that, especially in these days where the youth seem not to be able to organize on their own. One of the highlights of this, or one of the objectives of this, is that we want to perpetuate football at a level that has not been achieved since the days of Haiti, where I was very honored to be the coach of that team. And so far as I'm concerned, it is possible for us to return to the heights of those days, especially when we have stalwarts like those who are among us here today. And Kelvin Morin, who in my opinion, and I had the distinction of coaching team with other captains, but Kelvin Morin, in my opinion, has been the best captain of the Trinidad team ever. I know that people like said use him as a rival, but Kelvin Morin, because of the height that the Trinidad football team in those days reached, in my book, has been the best football coach that we have had. To see him here today, to me, is an honor that he can find the time to come here.
As a person who was there in 73, when we, and you know what I think happens, and is that 17 team, I don't think that up to this present time they was given the proper recognition, you know, as the team that they, as far as I'm concerned, they were at the World Cup because they were robbed. But as you were there, what was that experience like? And up to this time in your life, do you still reflect on that?
Oh yeah, I don't think I will ever forget it. You know, although I will describe it as a notorious tournament, notorious from the point of view that some of the speakers before me have indicated, and that we have won a match handsomely and lost. The day in question, I have always supported myself when I was on these big occasions with the regulations of FIFA, and I had the regulations with me then. But there was, as has happened in this last World Cup, there has always been sort of a trial laws or trial rules. In those days, the trial was, or the experimental law was, that if the linesman, or one of the linesmen, they used to call them linesmen then, had his flag up for more than 3 seconds, and the referee did not see him, the referee would, afterward, if he was called on, the referee will ignore. If the referee did not see what happened in the 3 seconds, okay, so the first goal, let's go for that. The first goal was scored. Nobody up to now know why they disallowed it. It was from a throw of one of the persons who reached a standard in Trinidad and in the Caribbean, or perhaps even in the world, had the best throw in the world. That was Winston Phillip. They never saw such a throw in their life, and therefore it shocked the entire defense when Winston Phillip threw the ball to the far post. The ball hit on the leg of one of their players and went in the goal, a legitimate goal. The referee the linesman put his flag up. The referee took the ball out of the goal himself, returned it to the center spot to restart the game. And it is only because of the crowd shouting, that the referee's attention was drawn to the linesman flag up still. When they went to the linesman, I don't know what they said, but they disallowed that for the main one, that goal. Anyway, let me just say this, several years after, I'm saying the first time for those who are listening to me, I was in Germany on a course, a football course, and I was behind the Iron Curtain. So that the news coming from the West was very, 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 in fact, it's only after 12 o'clock in the night you could get. So anyhow, to make this story short, there was a program coming from BBC. I stayed up that night at 12 o'clock. Unfortunately for me, the program had to do with a match that a team scored 5 goals. I say 4, but 5.
It's 5, I know it's 5. Yeah.
5 goals and lost the game 2-1. And the people who were discussing are top-class English coaches, and all of them knew about it, all. And one of the moderator said something that shocked me. He wondered why the technical committee of that Trinidad and Tobago team did not protest.
Yes.
Well, we looked to find ways of protesting and we couldn't find any. And that man said, we forgot that there was a experimental law at the time with respect to the linesman and the flag. And therefore, that was the ground in which we could have protested. But, well, that was history. So that was it. 81, and they went on to the World Cup, and they had a disgraceful showing. A very disgraceful showing. They lost 11-9 to hit Uruguay. Who was it? Somebody.
So you all got some sort of satisfaction?
Yeah, from that we got a little bit of satisfaction.
But now, as Mr. Sanderson is trying his best here to develop this year, you are one of the supporters who will be supporting this project.
Yeah, I gave the background to this part of my life to prove that, you know, so things like that perhaps nowadays, because of high technology and so on, could not happen. And because of the fact that people like myself, Selwyn Murren, Finey Paul, Kent Murren, and those others who are here, perhaps, they are here now to guide young people, even among them coaches and managers, that these are the things they look out for in the future. You know, so one of the areas that I think that we will be able to help young coaches, even among them some sports commentators who unfortunately are unaware of some of the history of football.
Yeah. Mr. Bilal, it was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Let me continue to wish you long life and good health. And I know I will be talking to you again shortly.
Most certainly. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Welcome back, Sanderson Heritage Park here in Faizabad. And they say sometimes you leave the best for last. I have Lennox Pilgrim, better known as Bullet. And who don't know Bullet, really, you're in a different world. There is no football game that you can play in Trinidad and Tobago that you don't see this gentleman, right? He's the operations secretary of the SFA, Southern Football Association. He's the longest serving member, 40 years, with the Trinidad and Tobago Football Association. Well, it was there since it was the federation.
So the SF League.
Right. So this man deserves to be here talking to us last. But I know that I've heard all the other people who I've spoken to pay tribute to you as the person who they have really been looking forward to help what is going on here to carry it to a different level. What is your whole role here, and being here this evening from since 40 years back and seeing this kind of camaraderie with the community football? How are you feeling right now?
Well, it brings back some old memories, which I'm happy about, because as I said, I grew up in SFL, in first zone, right, where we had the leagues, before we came to zones. So we had a number of youth programs, and most times they find teams in SFL were always in the finals. We always are forced to be reckoned with. So after some people resigned and the villages were going down, and we went to the zones. I work under John Allen. I first started working under Oscar Harvey, Ken Gold, all the old Ivan Carter, all these fellas.
You should have been the TTFA president.
John Allen, I work all these fellas. I have a lot of experience in administration, what have you. So seeing all these things that went away and everything that's going down the drain, and Arthur called me. I said, Arthur, I'm willing to support and give any advice and help. Because I never was an official who did things looking for money. I always wanted to help and give any experience I have, any questions, I will help. So that's the reason why I was invited to a meeting with Sans, and I came there and I gave my support and tell them I will be around to assist in any way I could.
So we can look forward to football under a new life coming out of the areas of Faizabad, Point, and these different areas.
Yeah, you see, yes, but what you have to take into consideration, the oil companies are not here again.
That is it. And the finance
is not
yes.
here. Because let me go back to SFL days. The reason why SFL was one of the stronger leagues, because according to the constitution of the country, the oil company had to provide facilities for players. So you find almost every team had a club and a groundman, proper playing fields, right? So after these people left and things started to take a dive, right? And finance wasn't as there as previous years, so that's one of the problems we had. But now, as Mr. Sanderson is making this effort, I believe things could happen. If people see we are serious and we are doing things the right way, we'll get the necessary help. So that's why I'm here supporting him.
Right. Mr. Pilgrim, it was indeed a pleasure. And let me wish you all the best. And let me wish you another 40 years in the Football Federation, because we need people with the experience from when the football was actually the football then, if you understand what I'm saying. So we need that. They could bring 100 young minds, brilliant minds, but unless you don't have somebody there that can bring the foundation and what it was before, we'll always be in issues. So again, thank you very much. Thank you very much for serving Trinidad and Tobago football, because 40 years is not 40 days or 40 weeks. It's a long time. And to see you still in football, we really appreciate you. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So there you heard it from Lennox Pilgrim, better known as Bullet, and we are here enjoying ourselves today on Emancipation Day football at Sanderson Heritage Park in Faisabad. We'll be right back. We might have the presentation. Who knows? It all depends on the weather. So this is ACTN, and we'll be bringing you all the action. Thank you for staying with us.